Welcome everyone to December 5th, 2023. Today we're going to work on a few little serious matters. There seems to be a plethora of young people getting cancer. So we just thought, yeah, let's work with different types of cancer and hormone imbalance. Okay, so all we're going to do is breathe and go into that hypothalamic pituitary connection. And just breathe. We're just going to connect those up so your body can do its healing. Remember, this is not a replacement for medical advice or medical intervention. This is to support all possible interventions that you get. Remember to be tested and to take care of your body. And this is just one more thing that you can do. So what's coming up also is somebody else mentioned pressure, and I agree, lots of pressure. There's pressure of the season, pressure of the planet, pressure of, the winter, summer solstice coming in between the northern and southern hemisphere, the pressures of life in general, the pressures of the collective. So you might feel that throughout your body, mind, and particular areas. So we're going to let just our brains focus on particular areas. Like for myself personally, it's head and neck. So there's vagus nerve. Some people it's heart, they get heart pain. Some people it's lungs, where they, you can have asthma. Some people it can be constipation in the colon. Some people it can be walking. Some people it could be their kidneys, whatever area, maybe even pressure on the eyes or the ears, that kind of thing. And we're looking at the consciousness of pressure, the pressure we put on ourselves, the pressure of the planets, pressure of the seasons, pressure of expectations that we have on ourselves, on others. Remember, if you think someone has an expectation of you, it is definitely your expectation. So just breathe now. We want to release some of this pressure. And we're going to go into the 64 tetrahedron. These are the original cells of the body. We're going to look at our blueprint. So every person's blueprint, that perfect health that can come in and take care of whatever's going awry in the DNA that would cause excessive cellular multiplication that needs to die, right? So some cells, replicate, they eat up, dirty cells, toxins, etc. But sometimes they don't stop. So that can be the psychological or collective consciousness and personal consciousness pressure of these expectations. 1, 2, season. 3, planets. 4, food. 5, water. 6, pollutants, toxins. 7, hormone imbalances. 8, shift in lifestyle, global shifts in lifestyle. Global shifts in lifestyle. Oh, that global shifts in lifestyle is big, right? So this feels like lifestyle or ways of living that are ideological rather than natural ways of living, whatever that means. I'm not going to put in any idea of what that means, but there are natural ways to be living, and then there are ideological ways of living. Like, I believe this is the way it should be, or the way it should be for me, rather than, well, what is natural? It should just it flow, and then when we meet a conflict, we deal with it and then flow along. But if I have an ideology of what pathway I need to take, well, I could say from personal experience, anytime I had an ideology that led a certain way, it made my life more difficult. So we don't need to make our lives more difficult, and just breathe. And you might feel a little bit of pressure moving off the system, but you could also feel where there is pressure in your body and an increase in it, and it lets you know where to go, what areas. So, head is going to be a lot of mental stuff in your brain programs. Chest is going to be what we release. Heart is going to be the capacity to individuate, to grow up, to be responsible for ourselves. That's an interesting one, because now I'm seeing the ideological stuff and responsibility in the heart at a direct conflict to each other, because the heart knows exactly how we need to be living, but if we have an ideology imprinted on top of it, we lose that connection to what is natural. Oh my God. Okay. My eyes just cleared up. My chest just opened up. Wow. That feels really good. Really. So there is a collective on this. So you can have your own personal beliefs, but there is the collective that can pressure you as well. And that has to do with expectations, right? So if I expect something of someone, it's an expectation I have of myself. But it gets really complex. If there's a global idea of what's going on, it really pressures the individual. You're trying to figure out how to act and to function in the world. And if you have to try and figure it out, woof, that makes life really difficult, rather than the simple expression of self. But controlled expression is really, really difficult. And we all have to do it at some point, but it shouldn't be stressful, right? So if I'm having a conversation with one of my co-workers, light workers that are here with me right now, if I have a conversation with them and I feel as though I have to control what I'm saying, we're going to have a very difficult conversation. Though we're not going to have this conversation before we get on to this world session that is going to involve, what I did with my kids today. And we have a parameter which should be helpful to us to have that parameter. Otherwise, we're just going to come in and talk about anything, and we'll never get down to brass tacks on what we need to do. So yes, we have a nice little parameter to work with, but we're not censored within that parameter by each other. We're able to express and figure out what we need to do. Okay. Well, in the end, it's me doing it. But I always give kudos to my group who helps me out, right? And breathe. I don't know. I can see them. I don't have them on screen, but how you feeling? Are you noticing? I'm noticing a freeing up of the heart. So I feel like we have three granti. There's the Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra grantis. These are knots that knot up our Kundalini. And I feel as though the Rudra granti that is in the head just unraveled. So, it can't happen for everyone. Your body mind's going to decide whether it does it. But it feels as though I've opened up space for the pineal and pituitary to really communicate. And then that pituitary connection to the pineal, I'm seeing something I haven't seen for probably since 1996, which was there's a kind of a pathway. If you look planetarily, you look at the planets and then you look at pituitary pineal, which is sun moon. There's I don't know how to put it, like dimensional shifts that can go on in the brain. So we can have an interdimensional, let's say, communication, whether it's, with time, space, or you could go a little bit further. I'm not going to go further because we want to ground ourselves. I don't want to go off into hyperspace. But, when you think of the different levels of what the sun is doing, it can be feeding another planet. That sun can be causing the planet to, slowly have life as Earth had life. So I feel like I'm going back to, here's Earth, just this molten lava, and then eventually life comes to being, and we are connected to that as much as we, may not think it, but our DNA is. So we want to get that Kundalini to help kind of go back to burning. Now, this is up to you. I want to burn out toxins and garbage from my body. I want my hormones to be balanced. I want my immune system to be really strong and all the bugs in my immune system. But that will also entail burning out ideologies or thoughts or shoulds or have tos that limit my perceptions of the world and demand obedience from other people. So yeah, that's really stressful, man. That's just so, I feel like there's something going on in the, the prefrontal, not quite on my frontal, but behind the frontal, the prefrontal cortex, where we're able to understand things and figure things out. We have to be so careful because we can be really lazy. We could just listen to information, just like you could listen to me now and go, let me just research what she's doing. Maybe I could find out something even better than she's figured out over her 60 some odd years of living. Yeah, I've hardly figured out a thing. I'm so ignorant, completely ignorant. With the little bit that I know is total ignorance, but hopefully I can shed something to help someone out. Our ignorance and our willful blindness, it's really important that we're not willfully blind, that we don't just listen to things. So please don't just listen to me. Do your due diligence and do your research. Figure out what you need to do. Figure out where you're limited in your own perceptions of the world. And the more information you get, the more you're gonna say, "Oh boy, I don't know anything. I don't know anything." And it was Socrates who first came up with that way back, right? That's my ancestry is Socrates saying, I know nothing, which makes me the most intelligent man, knowing absolutely nothing. So the less you know, the better it is. And you could know something and talk about it, but when you start talking about it, you realize how little you know about the thing you're talking about. Wow, I can't believe I'll share something I've been experiencing, tension in the cranium and the neck, and it's causing quite a bit of vertigo. I'm working really hard at taking care of it, but this session is really opening up this prefrontal. So highly likely our prefrontal cortex is, it's a bit weird what I'm going to say, but I think that the collective tries to control how our prefrontal cortex works. And we need to just stop believing in things so that prefrontal can go out and figure things out. It's not so hard to figure things out. It's not so hard to look at a study or something someone says and just say, okay, let me do my own research on that. Ooh, there's a big nice release coming up. So yeah, let's allow ourselves to stop being so lazy and allow the heart to tell us a bit more, not the head, not our ideologies or our beliefs. Let's just really start to be a little bit tender with what's going on, because we know there's a lot of conflict going on the planet, and it's not very nice. We know it's not very nice. So yeah, it's time we take care of what's going on within so it's healthy for everyone. Yes. I love everyone. Have a great day and enjoy your week. Bye.